Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot. It's a deck from 1979. I got it in the mid-90s, but still. If you want the information, there it is. Just, I was saying before, I think the rock and roll prophetess, Vicky Verley, I think her deck is inspired by this. I could be wrong. There's another deck that I think is like an older deck too. I could be wrong. Check her out. See what you think. She has like this. It's like a groovy deck is what I would call it. It's like psychedelic. It's pretty cool. If you check her out, you'll see what I mean. Supportive Oracle cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrated by Elaine Marzin. There's a website for this. rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as an apple, U as an umbrella. Now it's stuck in my head. I have to look her up after. I'm like, is it this deck or is it one similar to it? I don't know. We'll find out at some point. If I remember. I'll see if the brain gets that far. Alright. What do we have for Aquarius? Okay. We got hot, cold energy going on here. It's like feast or famine, apparently. So, which are we going to end up with at the end is a good question. Are we good? Yeah. So, somebody wants something they're not entitled to. Do you know that, though? It's not you we're talking, but somebody you're dealing with. They want something that they're not entitled to. But do you realize that they're not entitled to it? That's the thing. How they're telling it to you, or how the information's coming to you at first, I don't know if you're realizing it, because I feel like you're feeling bad for them at first. With the Five of Pentacles, you might be feeling bad for them, or kind of, you might have the want to help them, kind of like, I wonder if there's something I could do to make that work out for them. They're feeling like there's nothing they can do to get what they want, but they feel like they should have got something. They felt like they were entitled to something. I feel like they weren't really entitled to it, though. Reward with the Ten of Swords is telling me, especially this is the challenge position, like this is something they thought they were entitled to that they really weren't. This reminds me of a will, honestly. When somebody has their will read and they cut somebody out of the will or didn't give somebody very much, that's the person who passed, it's their choice. They get to decide who they give what to. I don't think that's right when people question wills. I just don't think that's right, personally. But what do I know? It's their choice. And it's like if they wanted to give it away to charity, that's their business. You know what I mean? That is their business. And I feel like there's something like that going on here where you're like, oh, it doesn't seem like that went right. But at the same time, you're expecting it to move on. Kind of like, yeah, it's not really fair, but it should be moving on fairly quickly. More energy is coming forward with this, though. I don't think this is a fight you want to get in on. Somebody's going to try to pull you into something in this, and I feel like the energy, my first thought when I was like, well, what are you supposed to do with this? Don't get involved, because I feel like you're going to get pulled into something, and they're like, it sounds like there's an injustice here, but there's not. It sounds like there's an injustice, but there's really not. And they're saying, don't submerge yourself into something like this. It's hard to see it, though, because I feel like somebody's pushing forward, like, this is mine, I'm owed this. This is mine, I want this. This should have been mine, this is mine, mine. I'm just getting a lot of that energy with this. They're just, the way they're portraying it, they do believe that. That is their truth, how they truly, honestly feel. But I just feel like it doesn't seem like it's stemming from a place of, like, reality to me. It seems like it's something they feel is owed to them, but in reality is not. There's a lot of legal battles coming up, too, is what I'm getting on their side. And I don't think you want to get pulled into this. You do not want to get pulled into this. I don't know how you would end up getting pulled into it, but I'm getting the wheel is going to turn, and it's going to get more intense. Something that should be ending is not ending. I feel like it does remind me of somebody fighting a will. And instead of getting anything out of it, they're just depleting all the resources of the will, so nobody gets anything. It's kind of like, if I am not going to get anything, well, nobody's getting anything because I'm going to deplete it all. They're advising to step out of this. Whatever it is this person is playing with, it is their honest truth. They do believe that they're owed something. That's not something worth arguing. They're saying don't even argue that. It's a waste of your time. But walk away from it. You might want to pay attention. I feel like if you really want to figure this out, write down notes to yourself. What you hear today, what you hear tomorrow, and where you're hearing it from. Even if it's on your phone or a tablet or whatever you're doing to write down your notes. Make notes to yourself about what you're hearing daily about this. And once a week, just review the notes. It'll be so painfully, blatantly obvious to you what's going on here that you won't have a hard time getting out of it. For some reason, I feel like it comes at you from different angles every now and then, and it may be like, well, wait a minute. Is that what they said? Did I hear that wrong? Because that's not what I thought they said before. Well, maybe this or maybe that. Write down notes to yourself. Write down notes to yourself, because even though you're very sharp, you can't remember every single thing every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? If you just write down the little things you notice, the little things you're seeing, and you just keep going back and checking back once a week, you'll figure this puzzle out real fast. And you'll be like, no, I don't think this is something I should be a part of. Because I see the disappointment here, kind of like, seems like this should have gone better, but I feel like I don't want to get pulled into this also. It's kind of like, if you get pulled in, you're going to be like, oh, I really wish I didn't step into this. It's kind of like stepping in a pile of crap. It's kind of like, oh, I wish I looked a little better. I wish I was paying more attention before I stepped in this big pile of crap. I wish I was looking. If you step out, and the last card, integrity. If you step out, your integrity stays easily intact. You're going to see the history of whatever this person thinks. I feel like after some time, it's naturally going to bubble to the surface why they really don't deserve what they think they deserve. You seem to be standing in a place to be more objective, and you don't seem to be pulled in. When you have the Ace of Swords, it's kind of like you can keep tabs on it without being involved with it. When you have the sword in your hand, you're the one in control. If you want to step in and see what's going on, you can step in and see what's going on. If you don't want to be, you don't want to be. If you just want to get some information and get back out, you get in some information, you get back out. Don't get deeply involved in this. Don't get up to your neck in water and be like, uh-oh, I didn't want to go swimming today. Treading water. Didn't want to do that. Because I'm getting, this is not for you. I don't see this ruining your day or ruining anything for you anyway, because you do get the Sun card in the end. I just feel like this is much better if you just step back. I just feel like you don't want to be neck deep in this situation. And I feel like that's what they're saying. Don't get too involved here. Pull back, step back. You're a lot happier. I feel like that Sun card's more likely to show up. Because I'm not really sure if you get involved. Because I feel like you come into this energy. Somebody you like a lot, maybe. Somebody that you want to help, but they're saying if you step back and give it a chance to really bubble to the surface, you'll see what's really going on here, and you're going to be like, no, it's better for me to walk away. It's better for me to not be a part of this. The truth will come forward, and I feel like when you find out the truth of this, again, this person, they believe what they believe, but just because they believe something doesn't mean it's the truth. You know what I mean? We can believe that, mermaids exist out in the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean, but they're not really there. They might be in other planes, I give you that. In other realities. We can go that route if you want to. But they're not, they might believe it, that might be their truth, but it doesn't mean you're going to find it. I don't know why I did that mermaid reference, but I'll even go there again a little bit further. In this plane of existence, they don't exist. I'm very confident with that. Do they exist in some other plane? Probably. I don't know. I don't really delve into that very much. But there's possibilities there. But that's kind of like that's kind of like their reality. What reality are they dealing with? Because the one you're dealing with and what's really happening does not match theirs. They don't really, it's not really owed to them. I don't know if that analogy really helps. I hope it does. They're saying to step back from this. Step back, because the integrity thing is the real thing here. If you get involved in this and you get too deep in it, I just feel like there's some type of backlash here, and it just makes you look bad in a place where you don't want it to. It's like, for example, if this is a work situation and you're trying to help somebody else and they're saying this happened, that happened, I need help. You just step back and let them deal with what they have to deal with. It'll bubble to the surface on its own. If you get involved and it turns out they're wrong, other people are going to be looking at you sideways, kind of like, oh, was the Aquarius trying to screw people over too? Okay. Integrity. Like, you could be subject to a temporary loss of integrity. Or, isn't that what that is? I might be using that word wrong. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below as well. Thank you for watching, and you have a good day.